Sportscast, second show of not the second show of the year, but our first show for Tuesday night. If you know what that means. If you haven't yet, please subscribe on all our channels: YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, and if you're in iTunes, please leave a rating and a review. It will help us out tremendously. And of course, visit us on thesportscast.net for the latest. Couple coaches being hired today, and there's one more position open. Anyways. The NFL Wildcard 2020 is finished. Most of the games were close, except one, but they're all pretty exciting. And joining us for the first time in 2020, Victor Arocho. Welcome back to the Sportscast.
Woo! Let's get it on, baby.
So, Victor, tell us how was your break? How was your holiday? Give us a quick 60 seconds. What happened these past 2 weeks?
The holidays were great. My kids were home from Florida State.
Horrible football
everything
team.
Everything was fantastic. I can't complain.
Did they give you AirPods?
AirPods? No, I got a case for my Oculus.
Whoa.
I got I forgot what I got. I got to buy Christmas for me, to be honest with you, is more about my family. Like, all I would want is a card, but a card that they write their feelings inside.
Oh, that's
everything else. I know, I'd rather have it for them.
Cool. Well, this past weekend I watched the playoffs, believe it or not, and most of the games were pretty good, except the Philadelphia-Seattle game. I mean,
dude, three out of four games went into overtime.
That was the first time in your lifetime that has ever happened, right?
I don't ever remember it.
That's a lot. Let's start with the first one. Bills versus the Houston Texans. I thought the Bills were going to win.
Yeah, I was torn, but remember, I've told you I liked Sean Jackson. How many times have I told you that?
You told me that 100 times already.
I've seen this kid with no fear throwing out of the end zone, man. I mean, when you can be a quarterback and no fear and throw out of the end zone, and he's not throwing little just dump passes. He's throwing downfield. I mean, that kid's fantastic.
The Buffalo Bills.
Hey, wait a second. And Watts came back. Watts turned them around, man.
Yeah. Watson, when he starts running, that's when he gets into his mode. Crickets.
Yeah, you went silent.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. Well, Watts, they were losing 16-0 till Watts got that sack.
Yeah. The Buffalo Bills, which was led by a guy named Josh Allen, met the Houston Texans, led by quarterback Deshaun Watson in the AFC wildcard game. Deshaun Watson threw a touchdown pass and ran for a score in regulation and then led the winning drive in overtime as the Texans added another comeback to Houston's playoff history by rallying from a double-digit second deficit for a 22-19 victory over the Buffalo Bills in the first round of the playoffs Saturday. Were the Bills a little bit immature? Do you think they'll be like the team of the future and be better next year, or what do you think about the performance?
I don't know if it's the team of the future, but I think with Brady on his way of retiring, I think they can start controlling the NFC East again.
Yeah.
I think that maybe it was immature. What I didn't like about their game plan is that they started off with Josh Allen running for 40-something yards, then him catching a pass for a touchdown, right? And then they went away from all of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? They didn't let this kid be who he was, right? And I just think that then they went just to traditional football in the second half. Well, that makes no sense. You were up by 16. Why not bring a little bit more of that spark back into the game? Now, he ended up running again, but they didn't do a quarterback sweep. They did a quarterback draw. They did everything else. They did one quarterback sweep, and that quarterback sweep led to 43 yards. Then they did a quarterback throwback, and he scored a touchdown. He's the first, I think, rookie to score throw a touchdown, run for a touchdown, and catch a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, this Josh Allen player is really exciting. Has a great arm. He could run. his
Hold
weapons.
on. Let me tell you about Josh Allen real quick because I know you never know these pieces. You ready?
Go ahead.
For the listeners out there, the young brothers, and anybody who wants whatever they want out of life. Josh Allen was not a highly recruited quarterback coming out of high school.
Correct.
Okay, he ended up going to a junior college, a JUCO. He played for a junior college, and then he sent out 1,000 emails to coaches
Wow.
and got one offer, and I think it was from Wyoming. That kid started in the NFL playoffs. That is an amazing story. So when I hear those things, man, it just chokes me up. And that goes to show you can do and be whatever you want, but you got to want it. So I just wanted to give you that little tidbit.
You got to work hard. You definitely got to work hard. And, of course, they finished second in the AFC East. And just like what Victor was saying, I think Buffalo is the future of the AFC East if things don't pan out with the Patriots next season. Obviously, it's rumored that Brady he's on his way out. I believe what's going to happen with Brady, which we're gonna preview. We're gonna recap the other game. Well, actually, let's recap the Patriots, and we'll talk about Brady then. Any last words for Houston? Does Houston have a good shot? Do they have a good team? Can they go deep of what you saw?
Yeah, who are they playing next? Sorry.
They play Kansas. We won't predict this game, but how do you see this Houston team?
Well, I think with J.J. Watt's back, with Deshaun Watson playing, I think it's going to be – they're going to play – I think it's going to be good playoffs. These are some good playoffs, man. I mean, you got – I think they got a shot. I don't think Kansas City has shown its sparks when it's needed to, but Mahomes is fantastic, but so is Deshaun, and it hasn't been like Kansas City's dominated this year. So I just think it's going to be a strong game, and now it's going to be the will of two young quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And then I think J.J. Watts makes a big difference, but Kansas City's got a good defense as well.
Yes. Watson had 247 yards passing, and he only ran for 55 yards. Hopkins had 90 yards receiving. Josh Allen, he threw for 264 yards, so there was a lot of yardage, which means it's playoff intensity. That's why you see so much numbers, some of my high numbers. But yeah, the game went to overtime, and Houston just came back and won the game. I'm trying to figure out who scored in overtime.
Houston.
Yeah, Houston did, but
you can't win the game without scoring.
It was a field goal because if you score, I think like the first round or something, if you don't score a touchdown,
no, you gotta score. Here, overtime rules works this way: if you score a touchdown, it's over. If you score a field goal, the other team has a chance to come down. It has the ball. If you don't score, the other team has a chance to come down, and if they score a field goal, they win. So you have to score at least a field goal.
Okay, well, there you have it. That's overtime rules. That was the first overtime game. That game delayed the New England and Tennessee game, which was the highest rated game this past weekend. Coming into this game, Victor, I had a feeling Tennessee was going to win it. Did you have that feeling?
No, I thought the New England was going to win it. And I'm going to tell you right now, people want to do the Brady. Everything's always on the Brady thing. And my son and I had a debate. One time I told you about defense and Belichick. Okay, well, I'm sorry. That running back, Henry, ate them up.
Yeah, that was
dude. When you get passed on and stuff, it's terrible because it's long plays and this and that. But, man, when someone's just running it down your throat as a defense, you're tired. You're feeling like someone's just punching you when you're down. And that's defense.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You can see, even though it went into overtime, I mean, think about it. New England didn't really have anyone. He kept it to go into overtime. But I'm sorry, Belichick, your defense sucked. That guy was averaging like 5 yards a carry.
Yeah, Derrick Henry had 182 yards.
How many carries?
34 carries.
Okay, 182 and 34 carries. What is that? Like almost less than? It's almost 5 points. It's almost six yards a carry.
5.4 average. So that's pretty good.
Did I
Math.
pick it?
Yeah, you said 5, and that's good. It's probably 6. No, it's 5.4.
No, but I'm just kind of rounding up, you know what I mean? But it's over 5. I said 5 in the beginning. Think about it.
Yeah.
All you need to do is give them the ball. It's first and 10, second and 5, first and 10.
Yeah, and
second and 5,
yeah.
first and 10.
And of course, like with so much running from Derrick Henry, that Ryan Tannehill didn't do much. 72 yards.
You didn't have to. Why would you?
You don't want to have Tannehill control the game. That's not a good idea.
But that's what I was saying about Josh Allen. What you were doing in the first half was working. You went away from it. Why do you go away from something that's working? And then it goes back to, you could say whatever you want about Brady and Belichick. Your defense got their asses kicked.
Let's go to the Patriots. They didn't have much offense, the Patriots. Everyone was saying on Twitter.
Who cares? It went to overtime. How much offense do you need?
No, this game didn't go overtime. Did it? No, it didn't.
Patriots went into overtime.
No, it was all in regulation.
Oh, yeah. That's the only team that didn't.
Tennessee won 20-13. But yeah, like this is a whole conversation this past season. Brady lacked weapons. Ever since Gronk left, which he left last March, Brady's been having issues.
And
Antonio Brown. That was not the Gronk replacement, but the help.
You had Antonio Brown, the game would have been different.
That would have been different. They ran the ball. There was this one play, I believe.
Edelman dropped several passes.
There was one play before the halftime where they could have scored, but they couldn't. Like Tennessee stopped them. So obviously, Sanu wasn't like the answer. Dorsett wasn't the answer. I mean, they found no way.
Right. So, I mean, he needed one more receiver. He would have got past this game.
Yeah. Something to definitely.
Or he needed a power running game. But I don't think that they're built to have a power running game.
The Dolphins, I mean, it's funny, like the Patriots were looking weird since that Dolphin game. I feel like something happened since then. They just couldn't recover, and it spilled over to this game.
Well, think about it. You're a team that's used to overcoming adversity and adapting and getting better. So every year, every week, everyone's like, New England's going to figure out the offense. New England's going to figure out the offense. When you start going into the game 16 and you still feel uncomfortable, you haven't figured it out, that's got to wear on you.
Like Big Belichick, the season starts after Thanksgiving. And it felt like the Patriots did. I mean, like you were saying, they were trying to figure out the offense. They didn't. There was one argument I heard from someone from ESPN, maybe, that Gronk, when he decided to retire, he decided too late. The Patriots could have gotten some more options for receivers or tight ends. So, kind of like they could have like pushed Gronk. Hey, Gronk, you got to decide if you're gonna stay or retire. But they didn't push him. And of course, that kind of cost them their.
Too bad. Screw that. You can't. Here's the problem that I have with sports. People want to call it a sport, a game, and when they want to, and they want to call it a business when they want to. Right. So people were bashing Luck, right? Andrew Luck, and now you're mentioning about Gronkowski. Dude, when they want to fire someone or get rid of someone, they just put a ticket on your locker and like you're gone. You know what I mean? So when it's business, it's business. So, well, you know what? As a player, the player should have the right to treat him as his own business. And if he feels, look, I'm done, I want to leave, you want to have some courtesy to your teammates and this and that. But sometimes you just you think you want to keep going, and you go to practice, you go to OTAs, you're all pumped up, and you realize, my heart's not in it. Bye. I mean, think about it. Gronkowski's got a name. He's played, only 9 years in the league? That's not a lot.
That's not much, but it is not for long league as well. One other aspect I saw in the game was 5 minutes before the end of the game where the Titans were going to punt the ball, but they kept delaying it because Verbal.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That was probably like the highlight after the game. because Belichick did that against the Jets earlier this
Yeah,
season.
but you know who the head coach is for the Titans is, right?
Verbal, yeah, he used to play for the.
Who did he play for?
Well, for the Patriots.
How many rings does he have?
I think it's 3.
Exactly. But he's actually one of the few Belichick coaches that have done well.
Yeah, not all of them. Like Matt Patricia, he's struggling. Some other coaches out there as well. So it's quite interesting how Verbal.
That's
was
why I
playing
believe
Belichick.
Parcells' chain of coaches is a lot better than Belichick.
Yeah, what is that? Is it because Belichick is kind of tight knit?
It's because Belichick had Brady. We're going to see. We're going to see the real deal.
Yeah.
You understand? I mean, you right now they have not won without each other. But we know for sure that Belichick did not win with Cleveland. In fact, he sucked. Now Cleveland just sucks. Cleveland just sucks anyways. But you know, there's nothing you can do about that. But he didn't win.
Now, you don't think Belichick can win with Kraft without Brady?
I think define win. Are you saying Super Bowl?
Win a Super Bowl? Can Belichick and Kraft win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady?
No, I don't think so.
I think it's too late. Like
maybe
5 years ago, they would have tried it.
I'm not saying the Patriots can't win a Super Bowl. I don't believe Bill Belichick will win another Super Bowl.
Wow.
Anybody commenting on that?
No, not yet. So those three in that formula have to work in order for that organization to win, or those 3 to win.
Kraft's not really a factor. He's just a great owner. So you got to really just, I don't want to say that's not true. Being a great owner is a major factor. You know what I mean? So he's just a great owner. So Kraft is going to be Kraft. You understand?
Yeah.
And Kraft's got a great relationship with Brady. He probably has a better relationship with Brady than Belichick.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Okay? Because, he looks at him as his kid, and I don't know if you know the story, but Brady went up to him and told him, because with the round he got picked and everything, he goes, this is the smartest move you will ever make. And Kraft was like, who is this kid? What was Brady? Brady was like 6th rounder, no?
Yeah, 6th round out of Michigan. Correct.
He went up to Kraft and told this billionaire, this is the greatest move you'll ever make.
Wow. And it panned out.
You think?
7 championships. So, of course.
7? No, that was 6.
6 championships, sorry. Which I
6
think 6 is good. It's a good number, Okay, so what happened was they delayed the game. The Patriots were down by 1 point. It was 13-14. The ball management, of course, Patriots were struggling for offense. They couldn't find a way to get down the field and score a touchdown. At the end, I think the Patriots had 24 seconds or something like that, or maybe 11
Yeah, but
seconds.
dude, that punt was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That dude's punt killed him.
Yeah, that punt, which landed around like the 1 yard line, 2 yard line.
Killed him, bro. You know what it is? You're struggling on offense. You got 24 seconds left, and you're like knowing you're struggling on offense, and now I got to start on the 1 yard line?
Yeah, and of course, I think the first or second play of the drive, Tom Brady threw an interception, and that interception became a touchdown for the Titans. Sealed the deal. Sealed the deal.
No, it didn't seal it, because what I would have done would have been is to take a safety. No, you couldn't have done that, because then they would have to kick the ball off. It wasn't really that bad of a move, because to give you the ball back on the 20, they had to kick off. You understand?
Yeah.
You still had that shot. So it wasn't as bad, just because they could think about it. What was the final score?
20 to 13.
20-13, right?
Right.
No, it couldn't have been 20-13.
Yeah, it was 2013. I have it right here on my screen.
Well, then if it was 20, what was it? It wasn't 13-13, was it?
No, it was 13-14.
It was 13-14, right?
Yeah, I guess the Titans didn't want to score extra point. I guess they didn't want. I guess
no, the game was over by that time.
Yeah, it was over, so they didn't need to score a point.
No, something's wrong then.
It was
what was the score when they got the ball on the 1 yard line?
It was 13-14.
Tennessee.
Yeah, they were up by 1 point.
Right. So they were. Oh no, Tennessee went for 2 and missed it. That's what happened.
They did.
Okay, so my point being is by giving up the ball that fast, right,
Mm-hmm.
gets you off of the 1 yard line. You get the ball back at the 20, 20, 18, 20. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And now you got a chance, except for you now have to score a touchdown to win. So even though it didn't, that interception did not seal the game.
Well, there was like 1 second after it was over,
No, he had 26 seconds after the touchdown.
and I guess they did. No, it was over. I mean, I don't remember exactly, but either way,
No,
the
no,
Patriots
no,
didn't.
trust me. They threw the interception. He still had 26 seconds left, and then they had a kick off, but that's when they couldn't move the ball.
I
Because
cannot.
think about it. They only, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to come back on that. Let me do some searching here. Either way, the Titans won. I think Verbal for sure outcoached Belichick, and it proves the point that Belichick's playoff record is horrible when he does not have a bye week. That's just not.
Right.
And they could have beat the Dolphins. Could have had a bye week. It was that easy. But Dolphins win. Typically, the Miami Dolphins beat the Patriots in December, but we didn't expect that to happen in New England. So,
I
is
agree.
is the Patriot era over, Victor? Or you still need to see some things to move around first?
It depends on how you define era again. Like if you're saying is that are they going to dominate the AFC East? I don't think that era is over unless Buffalo can unseat them. And I think as a champion, you got to be unseated. But I think Buffalo has a chance to unseat them. I don't have confidence in the Dolphins. I don't have confidence in the
Not
Jets
at all.
yet. You understand? Not like next year. I think the Patriots are good enough to contend for the AFC East
Here's the thing.
title.
Yeah.
I mean the AFC, the AFC East
Here's
division.
here's the thing with Brady. Brady, he's a free agent. The Patriots cannot offer him a franchise, so if he does come back, he'll be getting paid less. There is rumors that he might be going to the Chargers because
Wait a second. Go Justin. Go call Justin. When was it Justin and Kailu? What was the team I said would be the best team he should go to?
You said the Chargers.
Are you guessing? Or are you
I don't
telling?
know. I don't know. I
Dude, you got a memory of an ant. You got to write this stuff down, man. You're running this stuff. I told you. Remember? I said, what's his name? Phillips. It's got 50,000 yards. Remember, I said to you, Brady. That's a good fit for Brady. If Phillips can get 50,000 yards, Brady's going to light it up there. You understand? It's on the West Coast. Right, and
he wants to pull a
now,
LeBron.
He's going to win a championship or not, but it's not like it's a bad team. That's the team that would fit Brady the best, and I said that 3 to 4 weeks ago.
I'm starting to remember that.
Right, because I was only on the fact that Phillips is thrown for 50,000 yards. But what did Brady throw this year without receivers? Almost 4,000 yards.
Yeah, still pretty good.
Be with no receivers.
That's still pretty good.
So if he goes to the to Chargers,
That'd be perfect.
it's perfect for him. He's an LA kid. He wants to do the LeBron stuff.
He's a Silicon Valley kid. He was born in San Francisco.
Well, I mean, he's a California kid, right?
Yeah, and of course he wants to do the whole LeBron thing. Get out there, get some movie deals, get some entertainment deals, and see what he can cook up for his next phase of his career. Which I don't expect him to win a Super Bowl with the Chargers. I think that's not his objective. But hey, if it happens, good for him.
Hey, but look, the Chargers have made it to the playoffs with Rivers.
True. Now, can Brady win the Super Bowl without Belichick and Kraft?
Yeah, I mean, football's a sport that Brady and Belichick alone don't win, right? I mean, you need your right pieces around it. I just think that. I think if I believe that if Brady goes to the Chargers, I think he will I think he will go farther than Belichick will in the playoffs.
I can see that. I can see that. I mean, obviously the backup right now for Brady is Jared Stidham. Yeah, he got drafted this past year. Young quarterback. He was an okay quarterback. Wasn't stellar in college, but he's he's mediocre, which is very debatable. It depends who you ask. Don't know if they could kick him in and become a playoff Super Bowl winning quarterback right away. Doubt it. Belichick is 67 years old. Brady is 41, 42. He says he's always wanted to retire at 45. And he says he doesn't want to retire, but I mean, there could be a scenario where he's a free agent and no one signs him. I'm just saying.
That is never going to happen.
You don't think so? Okay. You think he'll end up with a team eventually?
Guaranteed.
Okay.
Write this down now so we don't talk 3 weeks later and you tell me you forgot.
All right. Well, let's go into New Orleans. Ready?
Mm-hmm. First of all, let's answer that question. Brady brings in fans. Okay. Brady can produce. Brady throw 4,000 plus yards with no receivers, dude. That would be stupid for someone not to sign him. I mean, and he's not a problem. It's just not it's impossible for someone not to take him. I just think that he's going to go to the right fit. And I just tell you, if they mention the Chargers, which I said several weeks ago, might have a strong feeling that he'll be with the Chargers.
Do you think they'll just let go of Phil Rivers, or you think he'll be around or something?
Phil Rivers wasn't even starting now.
Oh, I did not know that. There you go.
He got replaced.
There you go. There you have it. Victor is our NFL correspondent. He knows this type of stuff. Anyways, ready to go to the Big Easy?
Let's go.
Okay. The Vikings saw a 10-point quarters lead slip away, only to take the opening possession of overtime and march down the field for the winning touchdown, giving them a 26-20 upset victory over the Saints.
And get robbed again.
Yes. This game was all Vikings. Drew Brees choked. He did not look like he was confident. The Saints were using their backup quarterback, Taysom Hill. It was bizarre. I don't
understand. Why did they? And he did okay, but why wouldn't they bring in Bridgewater? Is he hurt or something?
Good question. Well, that's a good question.
I'm not saying to replace. I'm not saying that to bring in him. She should have brought in to replace him. But why would they bring that other guy for 1 or 2 plays and not Bridgewater?
Which
that's doesn't make sense.
With Taysom Hill, he was throwing the ball, he was receiving, he was everything, tight end, receiver to quarterback.
Right, but I'm okay with that, and he did pretty good. But yeah. Bridgewater took him there without Breeze. I'm not saying to replace him. My only question was weird is okay, you got to bring in someone else as a quarterback just for a couple plays. Why wouldn't it have been Bridgewater?
That's a good question. Obviously, Bridgewater is known to be, not to say injury prone, but he had a bad knee injury a couple of years ago.
Maybe he had to be hurt. Yeah, but I don't give a crap. It was only 2 plays, dude. It was risking him.
I mean, he could have not done what this guy Hill did, but,
You don't know that. Or the other thought process could have been, we're only going to put this guy for a couple plays. Why risk injuring Bridgewater when we're going to have value to trade him?
Yeah.
Right? They're going to get something for him.
Things got off to a rough start for the Vikings after they elected to receive the opening kickoff. On the third play from scrimmage, Kirk Cousins connected with Adam Thielen on a short pass, but he was hit by Von Bell and fumbled it away with the Saints recovering in Minnesota territory. The Saints were only able to turn the turnover into a field goal as Will Lutz connected with 29 yards out to give the home team an early 3-0 lead. At the overtime, it was a basketball throw from Kirk Cousins, which had a good game. He threw it to Thielen. Was that play a offensive?
Yes.
Pass interference?
Yes.
Why?
His arm was fully extended.
Yeah.
And the defensive back's head went backwards. I mean, you can't. I was a defensive back. You can't ask for anything better than that, right? The only thing that I would have said that could have been less challenging is that the defensive back turned his head. That's the only time the defensive back shouldn't have turned his head, because once you turn your head, you're both receivers going for the ball. But this guy, who's already a big guy, bigger than defensive back, think about it, had a full arm extension, which then put the defensive back's head back. So think about boxing, right? You know, boxing is about arm length, reach, right? I guarantee you Thielen has a bigger reach than the defensive back. So if you're able to push him, extend your arm fully out, I just think they blew the OPI this year, the ruling. I just think they did a lousy job, number one. And number two, everyone's questioning whether it was really looked at because they responded way too fast. And every touchdown is supposed to be reviewed.
Yeah, it was actually caught by Kyle Rudolph, not Thielen.
Rudolph, right.
NFL later, after the game, they reviewed it with different angles, and they said that it was not an OPI, a offensive pass interference.
Based on what?
Good question. And like the ref analyst on Fox was saying that it was a pass interference.
It was.
Which I thought it was too.
Reasons I said the guy extended his arm.
That's kind of weird. I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, NFL's like, look, we could say it's a pass interference, but the game's over. We're embarrassed. Maybe like they'll feel embarrassed if they say that it was. I don't know. I mean,
well, you don't know what's. I just it's such this.
This happened against the Saints.
Happened to the same team get hit with this. In other words, to get hit 2 years in a row with the same type of call. Yeah, it's not like they got screwed twice in different scenarios. They got screwed twice on offensive pass interference.
One player that really stood out was Dalvin Cook. He carried the ball for 28 times for 94 yards and a pair of scores. Another guy, just like Derrick Henry, ran the ball. Kirk Cousins was not too visible, but Dalvin Cook, what'd you think about his performance?
He did well. I mean, it wasn't a Henry. Henry was dominant, but he did well. I think Minnesota played a good game. But I also think that the Saints played a good game, and I just think that the game shouldn't. They still could have won because it wasn't fourth down, right? But that play shouldn't have taken place.
Yeah, and I was a little disappointed with the Saints because I've been seeing this for the past couple of years. They just, I can't say choke, but they just don't perform well in the playoffs. It's like something happens one play and things like that. But they, just
yeah. But these are major plays. It's one, It's one thing to say that don't let the refs put the game in the refs' hands. It's true.
I don't think it's reviewable, isn't it? Like that type of play. I don't think it's reviewable.
What play?
The OPI.
Yeah, of course. They put the rule in because of the Saints.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, last year. Yeah, that took place last year. That would not have been reviewed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got screwed on the same type of penalty.
Quite weird, isn't it? I'm not a conspiracist, but are you?
I mean, I'm not into that. I mean, I just think. Well, maybe if you think about it, it could be if you think about it, it could be a couple things. It could be the refs union that are saying, "Hey, now you're pushing it too far." People complaining about the delay of the game, but I'm telling you, every analyst that I've heard, and I believe that the interpretation to what is offensive pass interference, I think they did a lousy job this year.
Yeah, not really.
And every touchdown needs to be reviewed. I don't understand. Look, during the game, when there's a touchdown, that touchdown is reviewed. Takes longer than it took for them to review that play.
We agree. The Saints got screwed again. So that's as simple as it is.
And then you move on.
Saints cannot play close games anymore. They gotta win by a hard margin to avoid these type of situations. Let's go on to Philadelphia. Are you ready?
Yep.
After Jadeveon Clowney knocked out Carson Wentz, Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks knocked off the Philadelphia Eagles. Wilson threw a 53-yard touchdown pass to DK Metcalf. Remember that name? Marshawn Lynch, yes, you've heard of him, beast mode, had a rushing score, and the Seahawks beat the Eagles 17-9 in the wild-card round of the NFC playoffs on Sunday night. DK Metcalf, what do you guys say about him?
Actually, I'm super happy for him because he was that monster coming out of college, right? He was at Ole Miss. He came out of Ole Miss, and he was massive, so you didn't really he also wasn't someone that everyone was talking about until the combine. It wasn't until he was seen at the combine is when he blew up. When they took a Instagram picture of how big he was and how large he jumped, and I was just happy for the kid. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a true receiver that is a monster. Like he could be tight end. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy for him. And then, you know, I don't know what's up with Carson Wentz, man. He's just,
He's unlucky.
he's accident prone, dude.
Yeah,
I didn't think he did get hit in the helmet. Well, what's the difference? You still would have been knocked out of the game.
Yeah, Wentz, like he doesn't play care. I mean, yes, you got to be risky, but you got to play careful at the same time.
Yeah, he should have slid. He didn't slide. I mean, you don't slide, and you've been hurt for 2 years, 3 years in a row.
But would have made much of a difference if he played all game?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, the Seahawks would have still won. We don't know. We'll never know.
We don't know. You just don't know, right? Because I'm a big Russell Wilson fan. I just think that Carson Wentz has been on fire.
Who else? Well, like who's also back? As we were talking about before, Marshawn Lynch, beast mode. This guy was unemployed.
I love that guy.
He was unemployed 3 weeks ago. He hasn't played since playing with the Raiders.
430 something days.
Can you believe it? And he was in shape still. This guy was okay. We'll sign him up.
Dude, not only was he safe, he was still pushing the pile.
I know.
If there's any reason for them that I'd want them to win the Super Bowl, it's because of Marshawn Lynch. To be able to tell his grandkids that I was out for 400 something days, and this is football, dude. This ain't basketball. This ain't Jordan is. This is football. For Gronkowski to come back, that would be hard.
Well, I can see Gronkowski coming back. I can see him coming back.
The different. Running back is hard to come back.
Tight end not so much. Tight end is pretty. I mean, Gronkowski could come back next season with no problem. Just like Jason Witten came back, looked fine.
Yeah, no, Jason Witten came back in a year though.
Well, Gronk has been out for a year so far. So, making his first playoff. Okay, Wentz went down. Nick Foles wasn't around. Josh McCown, 40-year-old Josh McCown, became the oldest quarterback to make his playoff debut, but he couldn't lead the Eagles 9-8 into the end zone. The Seahawks lost 3 of their final 4 games, including a 26-21 defeat at home against the Niners in Week 17 that cost them the NFC West title. But they traveled to Philadelphia for the second time in 6 weeks and became the third team to win on the road this weekend, improving to 8-1 away from the home season. Wilson threw for 325 yards, had a fantastic game, and led the team with 45 yards rushing. That last play was smart. They were in the 2-yard line probably, and they threw the Metcalf just to seal the first down and the game.
Yeah, no, I mean,
some of the Patriots wish they did.
Right.
Zach Ertz had 32 yards, and yeah, Seattle wins again. They're going to Green Bay. And this is the segment of the show where we will predict what's going to happen. Seahawks at the Packers. What's going to happen?
I mean, if they're at the Packers, I just think it's hard to win at Lambeau, man, unless you're Giants. I mean, it's hard to win.
The Giants? Who are they again?
The Giants beat them in Lambeau.
They did?
Mm-hmm. That's when they went on the Super Bowl run.
Oh, wow. Only you remember this stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers still playing lights out, and you're playing, you've got a dome team playing in Lambeau Field in January. It's cold.
Which, by the way, guys, we'll talk about the Giants in a few minutes because there's some news today about that. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, see what Victor thinks about it. Vikings at the Niners.
Niners.
Why you say that? You think the Niners are the real deal?
I think they're the real deal, man. They got a great. Not only that, I'm a Bosa fan. I'm a Nick Bosa fan. I'm a Joey Bosa fan. They're 954 Fort Lauderdale, St. Thomas Aquinas, man. I'm going to root for those kids all the time. So number one, and number two, I just think that they're a real deal. I don't think that they should lose to this game in this game.
I do think Garoppolo, which I think that was the backup quarterback that I don't know what happened with that trade. I mean, I heard Belichick wanted Garoppolo to stay. I heard Kraft just traded him for a good business deal. But that was the player to back up Tom Brady. And Brady's, I mean, I don't want to say it, but Brady's ego came in the way. To save the organization, should have kept Garoppolo. Hey, Brady, we love you, but, hey, what's the plan? What's the deal?
Yeah, but you don't know what Garoppolo wanted to do, right? Look at where he went.
Yeah, you're right.
And no, he wants to be a starter. And, it's not easy to sit back and feel that you did well in between and then come, you don't know all the pieces. And look at him. He's done well. And people have second-guessed that kid all year.
They have. And he became injured last year with an ACL tear. Anyways, another big game, Tennessee at Baltimore. I don't know. I got a feeling Tennessee can pull it off. But then again, you got Lamar Jackson playing for Baltimore. Who do you think?
They're not even close.
You don't think so?
No, I think that Baltimore's the only thing is Henry comes through, but outside of that, Baltimore's defense is tough. They got weapons. You got Deshaun. Is it Deshaun Jackson?
Right? Boy, I forgot his name. No. It's Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. I just think that they're guns blazing, man.
I don't know. If Tennessee beats Baltimore, Tennessee will be the dark horse going to the Super Bowl. I'm saying this right now.
They're not going to.
But that's asking a lot because you're going to ask for Tannehill to be a superstar, top-tier quarterback. That's not going to happen. Henry has to do a lot of work, and that's
I think Tannehill did a good job there. I mean, by the way, there was some other player that played again who was an ex-Dolphin.
Oh,
I'm telling you, everybody was an ex-Dolphin.
Tannehill? Yeah, all the ex-Dolphin players are playing really well.
No, not Tannehill. There was another player like Stoll or somebody. Tannehill, we know. Just some other player.
Don't worry, we're getting Herbert and Tua next year.
Last year, I think he was on the Saints.
Comments that what's it called? The Tennessee Titans had to get passed against Baltimore. That isn't happening. Yeah, I think we all agree that's not going to happen. It could happen. I mean, it could happen. I mean, if Vrabel,
it happen. I just don't think that their defense is good, their offense is good. They're on a roll, man.
Houston at Kansas City. Now, I believe Houston has beaten Kansas City and Kansas City before.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to pick Houston.
Really? Why do you say that?
Yeah. J.J. Watt's coming back. Deshaun Jackson, right? Deshaun Watson. And I just don't think that, Kansas City always seems to choke.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, if they win this game, they go to the Super Bowl. Is that what it is?
No, they win this game, they go to the AFC Championship game, most probably against Baltimore.
Oh, they're going to lose that game.
No one's going to beat the Baltimore Ravens.
I think Houston's got to – come to think about it, that's the best matchup I'd want to see. I'd want to see Deshaun Watson against Lamar Jackson.
They did play already, but Baltimore blew them out in Baltimore. So
right, they didn't have Watts.
I think he was playing.
No,
J.J. Watt. That's right, but I don't know. J.J. Watt's not 100% J.J. Watt. He's 50% J.J. Watt.
Really? So the guy who got the sack, who started the turnaround, is the 50%? Shit.
Hey, it's better than nothing. Kansas City has a lot more weapons offensively than what Houston faced last week. Yeah, it's going to be a tougher match for Houston, but I think Kansas City has the edge. We'll see what Kansas City brings in because I don't know.
Remember, Kansas City beat Baltimore, though.
Yeah. And, yeah, it's an interesting matchup. Giants news. Big surprise, actually. They hired Patriots assistant coach Joe Judge in a surprise move. Some people thought it was...
As what?
What was that?
As what, the head coach?
Head coach.
Did they hire Jason Garrett as offense coordinator?
That is rumored to happen. Judge was a special teams coordinator and wide receiver coach at the Patriots. He has no offensive coordinator experience or defensive coordinator experience, but he will be the coach of the New York Giants. Matt Rule was going to have an interview today. He heard that Judge was going to get the job with the Giants, and Matt Rule took the job with the Panthers. So it feels like this is news to you right now.
Well, the head coach is news to me right now.
Yeah.
Garrett wasn't.
Now, keep in mind, this is good. Joe Judge.
Some of us work during the day.
Well, Joe Judge worked under Bill Belichick, but he also worked under Nick Saban. So he does have championship experience.
Wow. So I'm just glad they got rid of Schumer.
Yeah, Sherman lasted for like 1-2 seasons. A year.
One season. Yeah. One and done. But I'd like to be honest with you, I'd like to have Jason Garrett as a coordinator.
Yeah. Jason Garrett was being interviewed today, or is going to be interviewed this week to be the offensive coordinator. Of course, Jason Garrett was fired from the Cowboys this week.
Justifiably.
Yeah, after Mike McCarthy is the new coach of the Cowboys. What do you think about that?
Well, let's stick with the Giants first of all,
okay,
and then we'll go there. One, I think Jason Garrett would be a great offensive coordinator for the Giants, with where the Giants started rising and with Danny Jones. Okay, I think he can help and build them. One. Number two, he knows the NFC East for 9 years. Number three, he would be in great position to take over as a head coach if necessary the next couple of years for the Giants. You understand? And why, if someone go, well, it was successful to Dallas, the Mara family is a totally different ownership than Jerry Jones. You understand? Jerry Jones is his own worst enemy.
Jerry Jones is the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Pretty much. Now we can go to but anyhow, do you see where I'm saying coming from? Jason Garrett being a head coach, I don't think anyone wanted to move him right into head coach right away. I just think that would be too high of a risk.
Too risky,
right? But it's like Wade Phillips. I don't understand why Wade Phillips was let go when Wade Phillips is a great defensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's something he is available.
He's never done a good job as a head coach, but he was a great he's been a great defensive coach.
Yeah, did well for the Rams, but I guess had a bad season.
Buddy, what's his name? Is it Rex Ryan? I think still would suck as a head coach, but he would be a killer defensive coordinator.
Is Jerry Jones responsible for the destruction of the Cowboys?
Yes.
Should they Should they re-sign Dak Prescott for $40 million?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Mike McCarthy, how do you think he'll do with the Cowboys?
I think Mike McCarthy's a great coach, man. I think he'll do well, but it'll be like Parcells and Jones, Jerry Jones, Jimmy Johnson. It's not going to be long lasting.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, Jason Garrett lasted for 8-9 seasons as head coach, which is pretty long.
Right. Nobody else did. Parcells did it. Jimmy Johnson did it. Remember what I say? Jimmy Johnson, I won 2 Super Bowls and got fired.
Jason Garrett is like the Spoelstra of the...
No, don't insult NFL. My boy Spoelstra. Bullshit. Spoelstra runs the game, bro.
Pat Riley's Jerry Jones and Spoelstra Jason Garrett.
Not. No, he's not. You're crazy. You are crazy. Because they've had nobody for the last 3 years, and he's made them play. And to the point that Riley's told players, that's Spoelstra's call. I am not in it. Riley, that's not Riley's style. You understand? The only time Riley did that is with what's his name? The brothers, the Heavyset brothers with Dallas Maverick. With the Orlando Magic.
The Van Gundy brothers. Van Gundy.
One of the Van Gundys, right?
Yeah. So, of course, the coaches hiring today. Matt Rule, who was the head coach of the of Baylor, is now the head coach of Carolina Panthers. So he got his position all set there. The Browns are the only team that has not hired a head coach yet. They said they'll be getting a head coach by this Saturday.
They're
Um,
scared.
yeah, they haven't had anyone else. So I haven't. I've heard some interviews. Josh McDaniels is one of the biggest names being interviewed. Of course, McDaniels is believed to be not a good head coach. He's more of a good offensive coordinator.
I wouldn't do it. I don't like Josh McDaniels as head coach. That organization
Is
should have got McCarthy. Right?
Yeah,
They need a strong coach. They need a not a players coach. They need a strong coach to take that under the realm. Now the only players coach that I would take would be Tomlinson. Other than that, they need a strong coach. That organization needs to be taken under control. Think about it. With all the crap that's been going on between the Odell, the quarterbacks, their defensive players. I mean, it's just, you know what I'm saying? They need someone. Someone has to clean up that place.
So far, Redskins have hired Ron Rivera, Cowboys hired Mike McCarthy, Panthers Matt Rule, and today the Giants hired Joe Judge. Did not see that coming. And the Browns are interviewed, has a couple interviews this week. They got Eagles defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz, Vikings offensive coordinator Kevin Stefanski, Patriots Josh McDaniels, and then they have already interviewed Eric Benimi, Greg Roman, and Robert Saleh. Eric
It's not
Benjamin,
Bieniemy.
yeah, I think he's the
Bieniemy.
guy
Yeah.
from Florida, right? The Gators.
I thought Bieniemy was for Hurricane. I'm not sure. He's from either one of the two.
Yeah, I know. I think he's from college football, so I heard he's a big option to take for the Browns. Of course, I like the guy who did last year, like the interim coach, but I guess he's no longer an option because he's not been brought up. Oh yeah, sorry, he's the offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs. Totally not college. Okay, so that is what's going on in the NFL this weekend. Is the NFL playoffs, divisional playoffs. Victor, tell us a little bit about yourself. Well, not a little bit about yourself, but what is the best way to reach you to talk to you about your future endeavors?
No, best way to reach me is go to victorarocho.com. That's my website. You can go to Victor, look up Victor Rocho on YouTube. A lot of great informational
On Google?
videos. And you just Google me is there. But, I have a lot of questions and answers that anybody wants to ask, either about sports or business. I'm open to help everybody.
And random question: what is your 2020 goals?
My 2020 goals. Oh, my God.
Speaking
I
of
want
rookie.
to take. I want to. Huh?
No,
I want to take a 14-week vacation with my family. I want to take my son for a son and father trip to Vegas. I want to. What else? I want to be under 200 pounds.
Hey, that's great 2020 goals. And of course, you can reach us at thesportscast.net, thesportscast.net for the latest. Go to our website. We got the latest coaches news, college football, Tua Tagovailoa deciding to go to the NFL, and of course, you could also follow us on Twitter at the Sportscast1. We'll be live tweeting the games this weekend, NFL divisional playoffs, and hopefully it'll be as exciting as last weekend. I expect it to. I think for the list of games, I don't know why I think it's going to be a Tennessee-Baltimore. It's going to be exciting. Maybe not. I mean, it's probably a blowout, most people will say, but we'll see.
I don't know. I hope they're good as this week. But one thing you didn't mention, how many superstar quarterbacks are free agents?
There's a lot of them. Eli, Tom
Five.
Brady,
Breeze, Dak Prescott.
Oh, yeah. And isn't Rivers?
There's two more. Yeah, there's two more. I can't remember. But think about just those three alone.
I know. It's crazy. Would you hire a 42-year-old?
If it was Tom Brady, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he still looked good in my opinion, but that's just me.
So, the boy can play. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, he hasn't shown it, and then he's not injury prone. I mean, look at the young guys that get hurt.
TB12, man, it works out. It kind of prolongs your career for at least 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Victor Rocho,
Alrighty.
I'll see you next week to recap the divisional playoffs.
Oh, you didn't ask the main question.
What is your
Who's going to be the national champion?
who's going to be what? The Super Bowl champion?
National champion.
Of what?
Football, college.
Oh, that's right. Clemson versus LSU. this
I'm
Monday.
going Ellis. I'm going with Burrows, my man Burrows.
El-
And I like Clemson. I like Dabo Sweeney. And I like that kid, Trevor Lawrence, too. But, I like Burrow. I want Burrows to win it. I think that would be a cap to a phenomenal career in college.
All signs are pointing towards LSU winning. Joe Burrow will probably get the first pick or first quarterback out of this draft. Tua Tagovailoa from Alabama announced on Monday that he will be entering the NFL draft. His stock is pretty high. He might.
And remember, Kai Lu. Where's Kai Lu? Because Oregon lost the bowl game.
That's right.
Think about it, right? Everything we were talking about.
See, okay. Here's why the reason that
and you
I did
keep
not
telling
ask.
me I don't know college. You always tell me I know college.
The reason why
so
I totally
divisions.
did not talk about this game is because you don't talk college football much, so I didn't bring it up. But that brings up a good
championships, point. But now you're starting to talk when these guys are bringing stuff up. You keep thinking I don't know college. I'm gonna start throwing stuff at you. You can tell me about Justin Herbert. He's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but they got their butts whooped in the bowl game.
They did. Anyways, Tyler. Excuse me, Victor.
All right, brother.
I gotta go pay some bills.
Hey, welcome back, baby.
Welcome back, 2020 is strong. The Sportscast is going strong. Go to the sportscast.net. We're selling T-shirts, so if you guys want to support the Sportscast, buy a pair of T-shirts, and we could pay some servers, pay Victor Arocho's light bill, and things like that. Anyways, have a good night.
Bye.